Imagine a world where every playground had its own rules. On one playground, the swings only worked if you paid with marbles. On another, the slide only accepted stickers. On a third, you had to solve puzzles before climbing the monkey bars. Fun? Maybe? But also confusing. You'd need a backpack full of marbles, stickers, and puzzles just to play. That's what blockchains were like. Each one with its own rules, tokens, and systems, often unable to talk to each other. Then came Polkadot, the blockchain, that said, what if we could connect all the playgrounds? What if kids could share swings, slides, and games without needing 10 different backpacks? Polkadot is not just a blockchain. It's a network of blockchains, a digital web that ties everything together instead of one city or one train. It's like a whole railway system where different trains can run on different tracks, but all connect to the same central station. In short, Polkadot's superpower is connection. The origin story of Polkadot. Every blockchain story begins with a dreamer who wants to fix something for Polkadot. That dreamer was Dr. Gavin Wood. If the name sounds familiar, he was one of the original co-founders of Ethereum. Gavin didn't just help build Ethereum, he also created the programming language Solidity, the tool developers use to write Ethereum smart contracts. In other words, he was a key architect of the digital city we know today. But after a few years, Gavin saw Ethereum's limits. Ethereum was powerful, but it was like a crowded city with traffic jams, high fees, and no easy way to connect to other blockchains. Gavin believed the future wasn't just one megacity blockchain, but a network of cities each, one with its own style, laws, and culture, but all connected by a highway system. In 2016, Gavin left Ethereum and began working on a new vision. He co-founded Web3 Foundation, an organization with the mission to build a more open, decentralized internet. The jewel of this mission would be Polkadot. The idea was bold. Instead of one blockchain ruling them all, Polkadot would be the glue that connected many blockchains together. Developers wouldn't have to build everything from scratch anymore. They could create specialized blockchains called Parachains and plug them into Polkadot's central hub. By 2020, Polkadot officially launched. Its design was unique, futuristic, and full of ambition. Too many. It was the Internet of Blockchains, a network where dozens or even hundreds of blockchains could work side by side, sharing security, speed, and communication. From that point, Polkadot wasn't just another blockchain. Became the great connector, a system trying to weave all of crypto into one massive web. The token and its function, DOT. Every great network needs fuel, rules, and rewards. For Polkadot, all of that lives inside its native token, DOT. But DOT isn't just money. It plays three important roles that keep the Polkadot ecosystem alive. 1. DOT as governance power. Holding DOT is like holding a voting badge. With it, you can help decide Polkadot's future. DOT. Holders vote on which upgrades to approve, how treasury funds should be spent, which Parachains get added to the network. It's like being a citizen in a digital democracy. Instead of politicians making all the decisions, every DOT holder has a voice. 2. DOT is staking. Security Polkadot doesn't use proof of work like Bitcoin. Instead, it uses a greener, smarter system called Nominated Proof of Stake, NP. Here's how it works. People who own DOT can stake lock up their tokens to support the network. Validators run the machines that keep Polkadot secure. Nominators, regular DOT holders. Choose which validators to support. If validators do a good job, everyone earns rewards in DOT. If they misbehave, they lose part of their stake. It's like a trust game. Good actors are rewarded, bad actors are punished. 3. DOT as bond and glue. This is Polkadot's most unique feature. Remember the Parachains, specialized blockchains that plug into Polkadot's main hub, the relay chain? To connect one of these Parachains, Developers must bond DOT as a kind of security deposit. Think of it like renting space at a digital airport. Each parachain is like an airline gate, and DOT is the key to unlock it. When the lease is over, the bonded DOT is returned. This bonding process ensures that only serious projects with committed teams join the Polkadot network. The metaphor is to remember, DOT is like a vote, letting citizens decide how the city grows. DOT is like fuel, powering the trains that secure the railway. DOT is like a security deposit, locking in parachains that want to connect to the system. Without DOT, Polkadot wouldn't run. It's the currency, the voice, and the glue that keeps everything together. The white paper and the original idea. Every legendary project begins with a manifesto for Polkadot. That came in 2016 when Gavin Wood released the Polkadot white paper. But unlike some crypto projects that publish short, simple roadmaps, Polkadot's paper was like an architect's blueprint for an entire railway system. The core idea was bold and clear. Blockchains shouldn't live in isolation. They should be able to talk, share, and work together. At the time, most blockchains were walled gardens. Bitcoin did its thing. Ethereum did its thing. Others popped up, each with different rules, but they couldn't easily share data or value. Imagine a world where every country had its own internet, but none of them connected you, couldn't email someone across the border. That's how blockchains looked before Polkadot. The vision of Polkadot's white paper, the relay chain at the heart of Polkadot is the relay chain, the central hub that provides security and communication for all the smaller blockchains. Think of it as a giant train station where all the tracks meet. Parachains connected to the relay chain are Parachain specialized blockchains with unique features. One might be designed for gaming, another for finance, another for identity. They all run in parallel, hence Parachains, but share the same security. Bridges Polkadot also planned for bridges connectors to other big blockchains, like Ethereum or Bitcoin. This meant Polkadot wouldn't replace other networks, but rather connect them into a bigger internet of blockchains. Shared security. Instead of every blockchain having to defend itself from hackers, all parachains plugged into Polkadot share the same relay chain security. It est like many houses in a neighborhood hiring the same strong police force, instead of each family hiring their own. Governance and up. Polkadot was designed to evolve without forks. That means instead of splitting into two versions when changes happen, like Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, Polkadot can upgrade itself smoothly through on-chain voting. It's like updating an app on your phone. No messy arguments. No splitting the community. The big idea in one line. While Ethereum dreamed of being the world computer, Polkadot dreamed of being the world's blockchain internet system, where thousands of blockchains could connect, cooperate, and grow together. That's the magic Gavin would put in the white paper. Not one chain to rule them all, but a network where many chains thrive side by side. The technology and what makes Polkadot different. Polkadot isn't just another blockchain with its own coin. Its technology is built to solve one of the biggest problems in crypto: isolation. Most blockchains are like castles strong, but surrounded by walls. Polkadot breaks those walls and builds bridges. Let's dive in to what makes its tech special. 1. The relay chain. The beating heart. At the center of Polkadot is the relay chain. This is the main blockchain that handles the most critical jobs. Security of the whole network. Consensus, agreeing on the truth. Cross-chain communication. The relay chain itself, doesn't run smart contracts or apps, like a train station that focuses only on making sure trains' parachains arrive safely and on time. 2. Parachains. Custom blockchains. Connected to the relay chain are parachains, independent blockchains designed for specific tasks. A gaming parachain could handle NFTs and in-game items. A finance parachain could manage loans and trades. A supply chain parachain could track food from farm to supermarket. Each parachain is like a train with its own passengers, but they all use the same tracks and share the same security from the relay chain. 3. Parathreads. Pay-as-you-go. Blockchains. Not every project needs a full Parachain slot. That's where Parathreads come in. Instead of renting a permanent place, projects can pay per use leak renting a scooter instead of buying a car. This keeps Polkadot flexible and affordable. 4. Bridges. Connecting the world, Polkadot is not a closed system. With bridges, it can connect to external blockchains like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or even non-blockchain systems. This turns Polkadot into a true multi-chain internet where assets and information can move freely across different worlds. 5. Consensus with NPOs. Polkadot uses nominated proof-of-stake NPOs to secure the network. Instead of miners wasting energy, validators confirm blocks and nominators dot holders. Choose which validators to trust. Rewards are shared and bad actors are punished. This creates a community-driven security system that's efficient and fair. 6. Upgradability without forks, one of Polkadot's secret weapons. It can upgrade itself automatically. Other blockchains often split into 2 versions, forks. When changes happen, Polkadot avoids this by letting upgrades happen through on-chain governance, like updating your phone software. Smooth and unified. 7. Shared security. Most blockchains must defend themselves against attackers. But on Polkadot, all Parachains borrowed the strength of the relay chain's value. Imagine dozens of small villages all protected by one powerful fortress. That's shared security. The metaphor: if Bitcoin is a vault of gold and Ethereum is a digital city, Polkadot is a railway network. The relay chain is the main station. Parachains are the trains. Bridges are tracks connecting to other countries. And DOT is the ticket that makes it all run. The functions and use cases of Polkadot. Now that we understand how Polkadot works, let's explore what it actually does in the real and digital world. Because Polkadot isn't just theory it, it's a system designed to give blockchain superpowers they wouldn't have alone. 1. Cross-chain communication. The biggest use case of Polkadot is interoperability, the ability for blockchains to talk to each other. Imagine you win a sword NFT in a gaming normally, it would stay locked inside that game. But with Polkadot, you could bring that sword to another Parachain marketplace and sell it for or maybe you're using a DeFi Parachain and want to borrow money against your Bitcoin. With bridges, your Bitcoin on its own chain can interact with Polkadot's finance. Polkadot's promise is to make crypto less like isolated islands and more like a connected world. 2. Decentralized finance. DeFi many Parachains on Polkadot specialize in DeFi, trading, lending, stablecoins, and yield farming instead of relying on one big blockchain. DeFi apps can be spread across multiple Parachains that still share security and liquidity. This makes Polkadot like a financial district where banks, markets, and insurance companies each have their own buildings but all use the same power grid and police force. 3. NFTs and gaming. Polkadot also powers Parachains focused on NFTs and games. Artists can mint low-cost NFTs on chains designed just for digital art. Gamers can own in-game assets, swords, skins, characters that move between Parachains or even cross bridges to Ethereum marketplaces. Think of it as a metaverse highway where your digital identity and items travel freely instead of being locked in one game. 4. Real-world applications. Polkadot isn't only for digital toys. It has ambitions in the real world. Supply chains. Tracking products from farms to stores with blockchain stamps of authenticity. Healthcare. Storing patient data securely while allowing doctors access when needed. Identity. Giving people blockchain-based IDs that they control themselves. Parachains can specialize in these areas while still benefiting from the relay chain's shared security. 5. DAOs and community governance. On Polkadot, entire organizations can run as DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. Imagine a charity where funds are automatically distributed to projects voted by members without needing a central leader. Polkadot's structure makes it easier to launch and connect these DAOs across chains. 6. Enterprise and governments. Because Polkadot is modular, governments and companies could build their own Parachains tailored for their needs. Public or hybrid and still connect with a broader ecosystem. This flexibility makes it attractive for big institutions that want control and connection. The big picture Polkadot isn't about doing one thing better. It's about letting everything connect. Games talk to finance. Bitcoin talks to Ethereum. NFTs move between worlds. Real-world industries linked to crypto. It's building the internet of blockchains, where instead of one chain to rule them all, thousands of blockchains can work together like apps on a smartphone. Governance and the Polkadot community, a network as ambitious as Polkadot can be. Just rely on one person or one company to make all the decisions. That would be like building a giant railway system, but letting only one engineer decide where every track goes. Instead, Polkadot gives the power to the people, or, more specifically, to the DOT holders. 1. On-chain governance. Polkadot is governed directly on-chain. This means that instead of arguments on forums or messy forks, decisions happen through votes recorded on the blockchain itself. DOT holders can propose and vote on network upgrades like new features or fixes, treasury spending, which projects deserve funding, Parachain auctions, which chains get a slot on the relay chain. It's democracy in digital form, where your vote is weighted by how many DOT you stake. 2. Key governance roles. Polkadot has a few main actors in its governance system. Council, a group elected by DOT holders. They represent the community, propose changes, and approve spending. Technical committee, a smaller team of developers who can fast-track urgent upgrades, like fixing bugs. DOT holders, the heart of the system. Every holder has voting power to steer the network's future. It's like a parliament where the people, the council, and the engineers all share responsibility. 3. Treasury Polkadot has its own treasury, funded by transaction fees, stakes from bad validators, and unused funds. The treasury is used to pay for things that benefit the ecosystem like development, education, or community projects. Anyone can propose how to use treasury funds. If the community votes yes, the money is released. It's like a community chest in Monopoly, but one where players actually decide how to spend it. 4. Parachain slot auctions. One of Polkadot's unique governance features is how Parachains join the network. Instead of just paying a fee, projects must win an auction by bonding. The twist. Communities can rally behind their favorite projects through crowd loans pooling their DOT together to help a Parachain win. In return, they often get rewards, like the project's native tokens. This makes the process exciting, competitive, and deeply community. It's like a Kickstarter, but instead of funding a board game or a gadget, you're helping launch a blockchain. 5. The Polkadot community. Polkadot has one of the most globally engaged communities in crypto. They call themselves Dotsma, a nickname combining Polkadot and Kusama, its wild experimental cousin. Developers, validators, nominators, and enthusiasts gather in forums, Telegram groups, and conferences to shape the project. Kusama, in particular, acts like a testing ground and adventurous playground, where new ideas are tried before coming to Polkadot. The vibe is experimental, collaborative, and open like a giant hackerspace where everyone's invited to build the future. The festival metaphor, if Cardano was a festival where citizens voted on events, Polkadot is more like a World Expo. There's a central hub relay chain, lots of pavilions, and the visitors, DOT holders, decide which projects get the spotlight, how funds are used, and where the expo expands next. It's not KOC, it's organized, participatory growth, advantages and risks of Polkadot. Every hero in the crypto universe has strengths and weaknesses. Polkadot is no exception. To really understand it, we need to look at both sides of the coin. Its advantages and its risks. Advantages, interoperability, the big superpower. Polkadot's biggest strength is that it connects blockchains. Instead of living in silos, Parachains can share data and assets. With bridges, Even Bitcoin and Ethereum can join the party. This makes Polkadot less of a competitor and more of a unifier. Shared security. Most blockchains must build their own armies to defend themselves from attacks. On Polkadot, every parachain plugs into the relay chain and inherits its security. It's like dozens of villages protected by one massive fortress. Customizable Parachains. Developers don't have to squeeze all apps into one chain. They can build specialized blockchains, one for gaming, one for DeFi, one for identity, and still be connected. It's modular, like Lego pieces snapping together. Scalability. Because Parachains run in parallel, Polkadot can process many transactions at once, add in parathreads and bridges, and it has the potential to scale far beyond traditional single-chain systems. Governance and upgradability? Polkadot can evolve without forks. Its on-chain governance lets the network update itself smoothly, avoiding messy splits like Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash or Ethereum versus Ethereum Classic. Kusama Playground. Polkadot has a unique test network called Kusamiya Wild Cousin where experiments happen faster. This allows Polkadot to test upgrades in real life before applying them to the main network. Few blockchains have this safety net. Risks, complexity. Polkadot's design relay chain, Parachains, parathreads, auctions, bridges is powerful but complicated. This can make it harder for beginners to understand and for developers to build compared to simpler blockchains. Parachain slot limits. There are only a limited number of Parachain slots available. This creates competition and high costs for projects that want to join, potentially locking out smaller teams. Strong competition. Polkadot is not alone. Cosmos also focuses on interoperability. Ethereum is upgrading with its own scaling solutions. Avalanche, Solana, and others are racing ahead. Polkadot must prove it's not just clever in theory, but dominant in practice. Adoption gap. While the tech is impressive, real-world adoption is still catching up. Many Parachains are new, and large-scale user activity is smaller than on without active users and apps. The network risks being underutilized. Governance risks on-chain. Democracy is powerful, but it also has flaws. If too few people vote, or if whales big holders dominate, decisions may not reflect the true community. It's a delicate balance. The balance Polkadot's strengths, interoperability, shared security, scalability, and smooth upgrades. Polkadot's risks, complexity, limited slots, tough competition, and adoption challenges. It's like a futuristic train network. If enough trains run and passengers ride, it could transform how people travel. But if too few lines get built or if rival networks expand faster, it could remain an underused masterpiece. The present and the future of Polkadot. Polkadot today is no longer just an idea on Gavin Wood's white paper. It as a living, breathing ecosystem. But like every big invention, it's still in motion, still proving itself. Let's take a look at where Polkadot stands now and what the future could hold. The present Parachains are live. After years of testing, Polkadot has successfully launched projects like a Kala DeFi Hub, Moonbeam, Ethereum-compatible smart contracts, and Fala privacy network are already plugged into the relay chain. This shows that multi-chain vision is not theory, it's happening. Crowd loan energy. The Parachain slot auctions became huge community events. Thousands of DOT holders locked their tokens into crowd loans to support their favorite projects, proving Polkadot's governance model works in practice. It gave communities a direct hand in shaping the network. Kusama as the playground. Polkadot's cousin, Kusama, has exploded with experiments. Many projects launched their first testing features before coming to Polkadot. This dual-chain system, Serious Polkadot plus Wild Kusama, is unique and gives developers more flexibility. Growing ecosystem DeFi, NFTs, gaming, identity solutions all These areas are being explored on Parachains. While not yet as large as Ethereum's ecosystem, Polkadot's architecture is attracting ambitious projects that value scalability and interoperability. The future: more Parachains, more bridges over time, more Parachain slots will open. As the network grows, bridges to Ethereum, Bitcoin, and even Cosmos will make Polkadot a true cross-chain hub, connecting the fragmented blockchain world into one giant network. Mass scalability with Parachains and Parathreads running in parallel. Polkadot could one day handle thousands of transactions per second. If successful, it might rival traditional systems like Visa, just in speed, but in flexibility, enterprise, and government adoption. Because Parachains can be customized. Big companies and even governments could launch their own blockchains on Polkadot while still benefiting from shared security. This modularity may open doors to industries like healthcare, finance, and logistics. Web3 vision. Gavin Wood coined the term Web3, and Polkadot is one of its main engines. The dream is an internet where users own their data, apps are decentralized, and blockchains talk to each other seamlessly. If Polkadot succeeds, it could be the backbone of this new internet. Challenges ahead, but nothing is guaranteed. Ethereum 2.0, Cosmos, Avalanche, and Solana are all competing for dominance. Polkadot's slower, more methodical approach must balance innovation with adoption or risk being outpaced. The big question: Polkadot is like a futuristic railway system with the first trains already running. The tracks are laid, the first passengers are on board. But will it become the main network of blockchain SOAR? Just one of many competing networks? The next few years will decide whether Polkadot is the backbone of Web3 or just another ambitious chapter in blockchain history. Polkadot is not just a blockchain. It's a bridge builder, a railway system, and a network of networks. While Bitcoin focused on being digital gold and Ethereum on being a digital city, Polkadot dreamed bigger. A connected world where every blockchain can talk to each other. Its token dot is more than currency. It's a vote in governance, fuel for staking, and the key that unlocks Parachain slots. Its technology, the relay chain, Parachain, and bridges creates a modular system where specialized blockchains can thrive without losing security or connectivity. Today, Polkadot is alive with Parachains, DeFi experiments, NFT marketplaces, and global community energy. Tomorrow, it could be the backbone of Web3, the invisible web that ties together finance, gaming, identity, supply chains, and even government systems. But the path is not risk-free. Competition is fierce, adoption is still growing, and its complex design must prove itself at scale. Polkadot may be the railway of the future roar. It may remain one futuristic train among many. And that's where the story becomes personal. Because Polkadot is not just technology, it's a movement. And like any movement, its future depends on the people who believe in it, build on it, and use it. So let me ask you, if the internet of blockchains is coming, do you want to just watch it being built or ride the first trains that leave the station? If you're curious, excited, or even skeptical, don't stop here. Explore Polkadot. Learn more about its Parachains, and join the conversation. And of course, subscribe before this train speeds off. Because, in the world of crypto, missing the right train can mean missing the future.